Hello, hello. How is everyone? Welcome to the Prep Talk live show. My name is Kissa. If it's your first time here, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a food business based in Los Angeles. It's called Ninong's Dessert Lab. And every week, I basically come on here on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, usually when my son Micah takes his nap, and we just talk about life, about productivity, things I've learned about the previous week, things I've learned about business, so that I can hopefully help you guys and just share the journey in hopes that it'll help or inspire someone out there to start their own business. And so I want to welcome you. If you are watching the replay or watching live, I'm going to post the episode markers down in the description. So if you want to skip to a certain topic, you can look at the description so that you can find the specific topic that you're looking for. So welcome once again. I am coming off of a crazy week, so let's just jump into it. Usually every week, what we do is we talk about the previous week, how that's going to affect our upcoming week, and then I tend to show you my setup for my operation, my business operation, as well as how I kind of organize and, plan out my personal life, just to try my best to balance it all. I mean, we're not going to be able to balance everything all the time, and I'll go into that about last week, but I just want to kind of just pick up a topic that I'm noticing that either my coaching clients are kind of struggling with or need help with, or things that I've just noticed within my own community that are very interesting topics that I just want to go over that are relevant to us entrepreneurs that run food or product-based businesses. So let's get into the past week. Man, last week was probably one of the most intense weeks I've had in a really long time when it comes to the business. And if you guys don't know, my family and we own a online pastry store called Ninong's Dessert Lab. We used to own a restaurant here north of LA, and we owned that restaurant for 12 years. This would have been 13 years this upcoming October. And so last week was just craziness. And looking back on it in hindsight, like, just to tell you the truth, it was really tiring. I don't think I've been this tired from work in a really long time, but at the same time, it was also so fulfilling. It was this balance of crazy in not so good ways, but crazy in really good ways too. We were able to really see what operating without the restaurant would really be like if we were running on full force. And it revealed a lot of things to me that I realized we should start kind of just considering and think about now that things have changed a lot for us. So like I said, we closed our restaurant in 2020, in November of 2020. And I think working at this capacity with the amount of events and orders that we had this past week, I think if we had our old brick and mortar, it would have been so much easier. Just to tell you the truth, it would have been so easy because we would have had a kitchen at our disposal with 12 burner stove, with 2 6-burner stoves, so 12 burners. We would have had a deep fryer. We would have had a large oven that we could have done a bunch of pastry in. We would have had a flat top, and it's just so much easier when the equipment is there and you have the storage space and you have all the things that you need to be able to serve people at a high capacity, right? That's just how it is. But when you are renting a ghost kitchen, or if you're, baking from home, that type of thing, it is not easy because you don't have that high powered, lots of space, equipment at your disposal anytime. And so that is the situation that we are personally in. We rent a kitchen to bake, and it's just one of those things where it's not as easy because you have to figure things out and get kind of creative with your time. So let's just do the lay of the land. I think if you watched the replay from last week's episode, you know we had a lot on our plate. So we do wholesale for a lot of our products on our website, and we had a big retailer launch our products on their site a couple weeks ago, and it went really well. It sold out within less than a week. And so they came to us at the end of last week and said, we need more product. We're sold out and we need more product. And so this past week, coming off the reins of my birthday, we had a lot on our plate. We had another big wholesale order. We have one of our wholesale partners that was like one of our first wholesale partners, also put in an order, and for them it was like double what they normally order, which is great. But we had 2 wholesale orders, and then on top of that we had a catering gig that we were doing on Saturday, and then we had a pop-up on Friday night. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was focused on the wholesale orders. We were doing a delivery last week on Wednesday, and then after that our other wholesale partner was picking up their order on Thursday morning, and then on Friday night we had our pop-up, and then Saturday we had a large catering order that we had to deliver to downtown. So the whole week except Sunday, there was something work related going on. And actually on Sunday we had to pick up, someone ordered a special order cake for their birthday. So actually we had something going on that was related to the business every day last week. And so I knew, knowing how things used to be when we owned the restaurant, I knew it was going to be a lot, because we didn't, like I said, we didn't have the same amount of equipment that we had at the restaurant, and we're working on a smaller scale. And so that means it's going to take longer, right? And man, did it take longer. But all in all, it was a great week. What I miss most about, having the restaurant is that just adrenaline rush of tight deadlines, customers waiting for their food, that experiential kind of mood that you have to set by your food and the experience that your customers are experiencing. I got kind of a taste of that again this past week, because so many things were on tight deadlines, and I can't tell you how many, I don't want to say problems or issues, but complications we had during this time. I mean, we ran out of labels, food labels for our products. So we had to print them from home. Thank goodness, in a past life, I used to be an invitation designer, because I have a really good printer here at home, and we were running that thing. We were running it. We were cutting all the labels by hand, and then we would have to label all the products on top of the production we already had. So needless to say, that's just one example of one of the snafus that we had this past week, and it was just piling up, of course, right? Because when it rains, it pours. And I think that I need to be better at remembering that, because one thing that I should have braced myself for was just, it's not going to go perfect, especially in the way that I did it. It was so out of character for me, but I think I was just so overwhelmed by the amount of work that I had to get done that I didn't use my productivity tools to try and, keep me on the right pace, and all the random thoughts that pop into my head that I know were super important, I didn't have a place to put them down. And that was my mistake. That's one takeaway that I took from last week, that as I reflected on Sunday, I was telling my husband Charlie, I said, okay, next time a lot of these things that we ran into could have been avoided if we were a little bit more prepared. And that was on us. We weren't as prepared as we should have been. And because of that, we had extra work that we had to do. And that's just the consequence of growing pains, us just working as a family and not having staff to kind of help and support us. And so it made me realize a lot of things. So things I realized: one, my productivity tools come in clutch in weeks like last week. And when I don't use them, it makes my job so much harder. So next time I know I have a week like that, I need to be more on top of even just checking in for 5 minutes. I need to be better about that. I can't just be checking in on my productivity tools when things are smooth sailing, because the whole point of me having these tools is to help make my life easier when the going gets tough. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was communicate better that I needed help. Because when you're running a family business, I think we all get really comfortable in our normal roles, right? I am the operations person. My husband is the chef. My aunt is the pastry chef. My dad expedites our online orders. Like, we all have our roles. But when it comes to a time like last week where we needed to have all hands on deck, it was easy for me to just kind of internalize everything and just go, yes, I need to do that, and that. And then I didn't write it down or put it down anywhere. So that was mistake number 1. But number 2 was I didn't articulate that I needed the support. When people would ask me questions, I would have to dig through and figure out in my memory what the answer was to that question. Where if I had written it all down and printed it and say, put it on the fridge in the kitchen, then everyone would know what's up. Or if I just texted everyone and said, hey, this is the plan for this week. This is what we're going to need. Just doing that quick check-in would have made my life so much easier. But because I took it upon myself, because I'm the operations person, I internalized everything and I just had to repeat myself over and over and over again. Whereas, like I said, if I thought it through a little bit more, I could have saved a lot of time and headache on my part. And it was on no one but myself because I didn't put those systems in place. So lesson learned. The other thing that I learned is when our business is growing, and it's a blessing and it's an awesome thing, but that means we need the support. So I think something that I need to be thinking about is, 1, what can we do as a family still? And when is that tipping point to where we're going to need to ask for help? Because a lot of things slipped through the cracks on my end, and Charlie's end, and my aunt's end. Everyone. A lot of things slipped through the cracks because I think we're all operating at more than max capacity. We were forgetting ingredients and would have to make extra trips to the grocery store. We were baking things, and while we want things to obviously be fresh, we didn't have a backup plan if they didn't turn out the way that we wanted. Luckily, we had extra, so it all turned out okay. But, in situations like that, it's really tough because we're trying to find that balance between making everything as fresh as possible, but also not stressing ourselves out when things don't happen in accordance to the way we're planning it or hoping that it will turn out. So that's another lesson. And the question that follows up after that is, if we had more people, more support staff to help us, would that have helped? And I think the answer to that was yes. So the follow-up question to that is, do we take all those opportunities and hire staff, or do we just know what our limit is and just say after that we're not taking anymore? Because we're in this weird place, right? And I don't know if any of you guys are in this weird place too, where you could use the support of employees or independent contractors here and there, but not consistently. And because of that, you don't want to employ someone and then have nothing for them to do. But also you have those moments of, we could really use someone right now, and then not have anyone. So we're in this really weird medium between being busy enough to actually have someone work, 20 hours a week or 15 hours a weird on a part-time basis, like a college student or something like that, and just us handling it ourselves. It's weird, like this in between. So that's something that we need to kind of think about and decide whether or not that's going to be something we would move forward with, or it's something that we say, okay, we're going to accept this much business, and then after that we have to decline everything else. So something to think about for us. It's definitely not going to be an easy decision, so I'm going to let that kind of marinate a little bit and think about it, and maybe see how the next few months go so that we can make the right decision for our business. And that being said, going into this week, I think a lot of things that I want to do is, first of all, I have so much to catch up on. I don't know if you can see the boxes right here. There's stuff that I bought that I need to return because I just wanted to have more than run out at some point. I was just like, let's just order more because it's taking too much time going to the store, buying it, and then coming back. So I have stuff that I have to return. And then if you guys can see, I have, stuff right here that's for pastries that needs to get put away. Micah's toys are all over the place. Our kitchen is a complete mess. It needs to get cleaned up. We need to clean all the baking trays. Like, there's just so much that needs to get done. So I think the theme of this week in general is I need to reflect. I need to reflect on last week, how everything transpired, and how I want to be better going forward. That's number one. And then number two is definitely catch up. A lot of housekeeping stuff. So cleaning up the house. If you guys don't know, we're leaving to go on a family vacation in 2 weeks. And so there's a lot of prep that I've already kind of been doing. I didn't get to do any prep for our vacation last week because obviously it was just focus on work and it was go, go, go. So this week we do have work to do. We have a pop-up on Saturday, but not as much business. So we're just trying to jump back into moving gradually versus just being 100 or running at 1,000 miles an hour. Now we're like, okay, we can kind of breathe a little bit. Let's prep for the next big thing and refill our inventory and all of that stuff because we didn't get to do that last week, and then we can kind of get back to normal. That way when I'm gone on vacation, I have peace of mind knowing that we're okay. So that's kind of what this week is going to be about for me personally and business wise. And so I want to definitely reflect that when we do our plan with me. I didn't do a plan with me last week. It was more of a Q&A episode about entrepreneurs and traveling. Me personally, I kind of shared my advice on the common questions I had about traveling as an entrepreneur, especially a solopreneur or a small business where you don't have the support staff just yet, but you want to take a break, and how to do that. And trying, doing your best to not work too much or at all during your vacation. So I kind of talked about that last week. I'll put the video about travel planning and the Q&A in the description below as well. That way, if you are, a lot of people are trying to travel right now because it's been such a long time that we've been able to get away, that I think people are just dying to go on a trip and just take some time away. And we're on that same boat. And if you're an entrepreneur, or if you started a side hustle of some kind during 2020 or during 2019, I know that all of us are trying to figure out how to navigate through life with our businesses in hand, and I talk a lot about that in last week's episode, so I'll link that below. But it was definitely a good one if you have questions about traveling and how to still keep your business going while you're away, or if if you're on the fence of also putting like a pause while you're on vacation, if that's the right thing for you to do, and how to weigh out those options. So check that out. But there's a lot of things that I need to personally do this week, on top of just housekeeping things here in the house. I need to go over my packing list again, and I also have some reflection questions so that I can figure out what I need to pack and what I'm just gonna buy when I'm in Hawaii. We're traveling to Hawaii, so I'm gonna try and figure that out. And then I also have basically a week or 2 weeks, because I have some awesome things planned for my group coaching community on, just helping all of us just kind of find that balance. Because though I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I am working 100% on my own businesses, and I don't have a day job per se. I have multiple ventures, right? So there's my main business, which is Ninong's Dessert Lab, but I'm also, trying to pursue coaching and helping other people that want to pursue food and product businesses and turn that into a full-time career for themselves. I'm coaching them as well. So I would consider that the equivalent of my, my side hustle, in the sense that that is only making a part-time income. And so finding that balance between all the callings that you have in your life, right? Your full-time job, whether that's being employed by someone else or being employed by yourself, and then having a side hustle, or if you don't have a side hustle, just trying to be able to wear all the hats as a wife, as a spouse, as a significant other, as a parent, as an entrepreneur, and, all the different hats that you have to wear gets really stressful. And I'm starting to see it in a lot of people, especially my coaching clients. And so that's something that's going to be a topic for us specifically in my group coaching community, just to help us all try to find balance within ourselves, and kind of creating those boundaries so that we can focus on the things as best as we can. Because to tell you the truth, it's hard, right? It's hard to figure out how to be everything for everyone and for yourself. It's really hard. And including being everything that you need to be for your business, especially if you're new and you're still learning. And sometimes there's a lot of added pressure to that, and it's not easy, for sure. And so giving ourselves grace is definitely a big factor that contributes toward whether you feel pressure or not. Giving yourself grace. And then another thing is just knowing yourself and knowing when to pause and when to take a break, and then when to really get all gears fired up and going 100%. So it's hard. It really is hard, especially in a time like this. And so things that I definitely know but need to take my own advice on is the tips that I'm going to share in the community to hopefully help everyone work toward being a little more balanced, because balance is the ultimate goal, but I think we all struggle with those things, even as seasoned or as new. It doesn't matter. You can be a long-time entrepreneur, you could be a long-time parent, you could be brand new to all of this, and it's all hard. It's everything has its cons in spectrum to its pros, right? Everything has pros and cons. So we all have to just work toward giving ourselves a little grace, but also figuring out what can I, ask yourself, what can I do to make this a little bit easier? And And it's so easy to get just stuck in our own, this is how we do it, and not step outside and go, is there an easier way to do this? Or is there a better way to get this done? And observe that. And so that's another thing that I'm going to advise you is, if you are going through that, and you're struggling to find time for your side hustle because of your day job and all of the other personal responsibilities that you have, take a step outside of your bubble for a second, breathe, and then say, is there a more efficient way that I can do this going forward? Don't worry about the past anymore. Use the past as a lesson learned to move forward, and just ask yourself, is there a better way that I can do this so that it's easier on me? And that is the main question. Always, we're going to hit points where things get pushed to the wayside, because we can't focus on all things at all times. That's just the reality of it, right? I've been wanting to do this live show for such a long time, and it just wasn't the right timing. And you guys know, I'm watching Micah in my monitor right here. I do this live show when he's taking a nap, and I had to find time to do this because it was important to me. But it all has to kind of fit in like a puzzle, right? It's not just going to be, oh, I'm going to make time, because you have to make the time. I'm not saying that's untrue, but at the same time, you also have to realize you already do have a lot on your plate, and can you make time? Do you have to talk to your spouse about that to make the time? Do you have to, sacrifice a little bit of your personal time? Do you need to reach out to someone to help you? Those are questions that you need to ask yourself. I need to ask myself, and figure out if what I want to pursue, or what I want to implement, or what I want to do is feasible at this very moment. And if it's not, don't be discouraged, because it might not be the right time, but in the future, it might be. So give yourself some patience, take a look at the lay of the land, and just say, okay, if it's not the right time, let's put this on the back burner. Let's put this in the back burner for now, and then we'll revisit it when it's the right time. And I don't doubt that there will be that right time if it's meant to be for you. But at some point, we all have to give ourselves some grace, and it all just comes back down to that. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing great, and you're doing the best you can, and that's all that matters. I'm trying to take my own advice. All right, so as you guys know, we're going to do our affirmations for this week by Affirmation Darling. So last week's affirmation was, I have the power to change my mood and the ability to uplift my spirit. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see this a lot because I wasn't sitting at my desk very much last week, because everything was just go, go, go. I was in the car constantly. I was at the grocery store. I was in the kitchen. I was watching Micah. I was doing a bunch of stuff. So that's okay though, because I know in due time, this one will come back when it's the right time. But let's pick a new affirmation for this week. I'm going to put this one here, and I'm going to shuffle a little bit, move things around, and then I'm going to fan it out and pick one. Let's see which one I get this week. Oh, let's see. I don't want to peek. I peeked, so that was kind of cheating. Okay, this one. Cute. I love how the designs are different. Every single card is different. This one says, I will not let my past disqualify my present and cancel my future. Ooh, that's powerful. I will not let my past disqualify my present and cancel my future. That's a good one. So that's going to sit at my desk. I think in next week's live show, I want to up level how I'm going to apply these affirmations on a regular basis. Maybe I do something in Notion or something like that to kind of make it more involved in my week, especially if it's a week where I'm not sitting at the desk like at all, then we can figure out how to do that somehow. I'll think about it. But anyway, let's share the screen. Let's plan this week and let's get it going. So here is my Notion setup. As you guys know, Kissa HQ. I have this on my to-do list. All my previous live shows, I'm trying to put all the chapter markers in all the videos. That way, if you are interested in kind of rewatching some of those, you can skip even to the previous live shows, and I'm trying to get caught up on that. So that's this tab right here. But anyway, so this is my Notion HQ. I'm going to go into the weekly agenda. I barely used last week's. I'm really disappointed, but it is what it is, you know. I got to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days out of 7. And to tell you the truth, I created them and I didn't even open them. So that's how crazy it was last week. And last week's focus was wholesale orders. That happened. Our Friday night pop-up, that happened. And then our catering order. So, I mean, I knew that last week was going to be cray when it came to the food business. And I did definitely focus on these things. But it was a lesson learned that I could have done better on focusing and really planning things better. All right. That being said, let's create our weekly agenda. So I'm going to put in July 19. I got to open this because I don't know what the end of the week is going to be. And as you guys know, we're going to load up our weekly template. If you are interested in this template, please message me or DM me, and I would love to share it with you. That way you can create your own. And this is going to be for July 19th with an end date of the 25th. Oh my gosh. I'm literally flying out to Hawaii in 2 weeks. Wow. I fly out to Hawaii on August 1st. So this is my last full week at home. And then next week we fly out on Sunday. Oh my gosh. Okay. Not freaking out. Let's just focus on this week. You know what? I'm going to change this to this week's affirmation. I will not let my past disqualify my present. And cancel my future. Let's fix the spelling on this. I just right-clicked that. I know how to spell disqualify, but it's easier for me to right-click than type it all out again. Anyway, I will not let my past disqualify my present and cancel my future. I think that's going to be a great thing. I really like the idea of putting that affirmation at the very top of the week. That way I can see it even if I'm not at my desk. I like that idea. I'm glad I made that change. All right, let's think. So the focus of this week is housekeeping. I think this week what I'm going to do in my daily journal is I'm going to add a 10-minute tidy up to my morning routine. So we'll go over that. I'll put 10-minute tidy up every day. I used to do this regularly. I haven't been doing it, but even more so, I haven't been doing it last week. And that would have helped a lot last week. But what I usually do is I'll take 10 minutes a day and I'll pick a section of the house and I will set a timer for 10 minutes and I'll just clean and tidy up that area for 10 whole minutes. And 10 minutes is really short, but you would be surprised how much tidying or cleaning you can do in 10 minutes. So I'm going to apply that every day this week. And I know that if I dedicate even just 10 minutes every day, I will make a huge difference in just how I feel about our house situation. It's just, everything is everywhere because we were just scrambling and going from one project to the next. It was just too crazy. So anyway, 10-minute tidy up every day. I just put this note here that way I don't forget to add it to my morning routine checklist in my daily journal. So that's number 1. I'm also going to focus on packing for Hawaii. This is our first time flying with a baby, and so I really need to think about what I'm going to buy in Hawaii, what I'm going to pack, because I think I'm more stressed about packing than I need to be, because honestly, it's not like I'm traveling to a place that I'm not familiar with, that doesn't have a Target or a Walmart or a Costco or, anything like that. It's definitely a place that I'm familiar with. I've been to many, many times. And so I'm stressing about packing more than I need to. But I want to feel a little bit better. And I know that if I start packing, that will make me feel a million times better, because I am notorious for packing last minute. And every time I do that last minute, I forget something that I know is super important to me. And it just makes me feel more anxious, right? Like, I know it's probably something that I can find, or it's okay. It's not something to really stress about, but I self-inflict that. And so, if I start early, then at least I'll have that peace of mind. So that'll be focus number 2. And then focus number 3 is our pop-up on Saturday. So we have a pop-up on Saturday in the Arts District, and it's going to be a super fun event. It's an outdoor event. We're going to be serving halo halo, which is a Filipino dessert. It's an ice dessert. And so we just need to make sure we find time to buy all of our ingredients, make a list, because Kissa did not make a list for any of the things that she had on her plate last week. And so Kissa is making a list for all the things for this pop-up this coming Saturday, because I am not going to drop the ball this week when it comes to that. All right. And then we also actually have a cake order, but my aunt is going to handle that. So it's not going to be my focus, but I want to also know that I have a cake order that I need to drop off on 7/24. All right. So, wow. Okay. Let's go back to our weekly agenda. And I'll open this as a page. All right, so when you open it as a page, you can see it and it's harder to click out. All right, now let's change all of our templates here. So let's filter as we normally do. I want to see all the daily agendas on or after today, Monday. And then I want to see all the tasks that I need to get done that is due on or before the 25th. Now, I got to tell you, today, I need to sort through this because this is all outdated. So let's create our daily journal for today. I'm going to click on daily journal template. If you want this template as well, please contact me. I'm more than happy to share this with you guys. All right, so I wanted to add 10-minute tidy up to my morning routine, and then let's fill in all of our properties. This is the week of July, July 19th through 25th. Okay, and then I already did my gratitude, and it was I'm grateful for time to reflect on last week so I can make this week even better. So that's what I'm grateful for. A chance to breathe today, a chance to go live with you guys and create this video for you, and then a chance to kind of catch up. So here's my morning routine. I had my water, my morning coffee, my gratitude. I did not do my daily download, and I need to be better about this because I can't tell you how many random thoughts just flow into my brain and I don't write them down. And if I did this like I said I would every night, I think I would sleep a lot better. So this is something that I want to implement again. Say my mantras, which is my affirmations. I did that, and we said this week's new affirmations. So, and I weighed in. Perfect. So there's a few things I got ready also. There's a few things I need to do. The 10-minute tidy and my meditation. I think I'm going, if Micah is still sleeping, after we get off this live show, I'm going to do my meditation because I just need to clear my mind for a second. And if not, I'll do my meditation when Charlie gets home from doing production because he's at our production facility working on product right now with my family. And then I'm going to do that 10-minute tidy also. All right, so my focus today is I'm going to do my 10-minute tidy up because if I don't, the house will stay a mess and give me anxiety. When I do, I know that when I get it started, I'm going to be more motivated. So I'll be more motivated to get things done. And on top of that, I mean, I'm not going to list this, but when your house is clean, you just feel more calm in your own house. So, I'm sure 10 minutes a day for 7 days, that's over an hour worth of cleaning. So that's something I want to keep in my head versus doing it for a whole hour today and just feeling exhausted. I feel like that 10 minutes will definitely make a difference. Okay, another thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through my to-do list because if I don't, I will feel lost. When I do, I will know I'll be able to delegate and kind of figure out when I can get things done. I will be able to delegate and figure out when I can get things done. The last thing is I'm going to go through my inbox because if I don't, I won't know if I forgot to contact people that tried to connect with me. When I do, I can add needed things to my task list and delegate as needed. All right, so that is what I'm going to focus on today. I'm actually going to work on my inbox first. And then once I realize what needs to be tackled in my inbox, then I can add them to my task list, to my to-do list, and then I can prioritize. So I'm going to move this by clicking and dragging, and I'm going to put that above my to-do list. That way I know that needs to get done first, and then I can organize my to-do list after, and I'm not adding, it just makes sense in my brain, and I don't feel like it's out of order. So that's what I'm going to focus on when we get off the call. And then what can I do today that will move the needle forward? Definitely my 10-minute tidy. Definitely. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to go through in my weekly task list. So let's go back here that I need to move around. So for example, I planned out the week already. So that's going to be moved to next week. That's good. And then I need to do groceries today. I need to do an inventory of what we've got. I need to do a project review to figure out what is, still outstanding. I want to do a check-in with my goals every week. I do that every single week because I want to make sure I'm moving toward my goals. Let's see what else. Oh, we need to do our drain stuff. That was supposed to be a month ago and we still haven't done it. So I'm going to do normally I do a tidy up every Tuesday, but I'm going to make this a daily thing. So I'm going to move this to Monday. Tidy up. All right. Oh, Micah's awake. It's good timing. We're probably going to hang out there for a little while while we're finishing up. Okay, we're going to move fold empanadas back to Wednesday because it was originally Thursday last week because there was so much going on. But I'm going to move this to Wednesday, and I actually need to, while this is in my brain, I need to follow up with wholesalers regarding Hawaii. So all our wholesalers that we supply on a regular basis, I notified all of them that we're going out of town. And so I just want to make sure that those that haven't responded to me, I want to make sure I know what they want as far as product goes, and to remind them to place their orders early if they want something before we leave, or they're going to have to just wait until after we get back. So I'm going to work on that. Oh, and I need to check my indoor plants today because poor plants, I need to check on them. I only watered them once last week, my poor babies. And then let's see what else. Laundry. I'm also going to make a Hawaii laundry basket. This is how bad it is, guys. So I need to make a Hawaii laundry basket. That way I can prioritize those items. I can wash them so that I can pack them early, and I don't wear them prior to, because if I wear them prior to leaving for Hawaii, I might not have it ready to go when we leave. So yeah, I need to make a separate laundry basket for our Hawaii trip. All right, I'm gonna start that. Let's say Wednesday's crazy, so let's do Tuesday. All right. Everything else can kind of stay where it's at, and we should be good. Okay, and so I need to sort through all of this more, but I added the things that I know off the top of my head I kind of need to update, and so that's already there. And then as my brain keeps working, when I'm sorting through all the due dates, which is what I'm going to do when we get off this show, is if I need to add anything, then great, we'll add it at that time. All right, so there is our weekly agenda. I forgot to put the date here. Today is Monday, 7/19/21. Let's do our cover photo. I definitely want to do a Hawaii inspired cover photo. So let's do hibiscus flower. Super pretty. Do I want that one or that one? Let's do this one. All right, so there is our cover photo. So we have a nice, pretty, inspirational photo for today. And then I'm going to be better about checking my daily journal. Let's see, what else needs to get done that I need to show you guys? Let's go back to HQ. Nutrition facts, I have that. Oh, reading plan. That's okay, we'll work on that. Oh, let's delete this. This is basically a blank page. See, there's nothing here, but I'm going to delete it for now because we don't need anything extra. And I think we're good. Alrighty. So that is it for this week, guys. As far as Notion, whoops, don't want that. As far as Notion setup goes, it's been such a crazy time this past week. So I'm really looking forward to kind of breathing a little bit more this week. Spending more time with Micah. My gosh, I have to tell you guys how much I missed spending time with Micah. I am so spoiled, and I know it. So I admittedly, say it, that I am just so spoiled being able to spend as much time as I do with my son and being an entrepreneur. I'm just so blessed to be able to do that, because I know a lot of parents don't have that luxury. And I'm just so blessed that we set up our lives and our careers to be able to spend as much time. But last week, my dad was watching him. Even though we were at the house, he was just doing his own thing and doing independent play while we were prepping for all the things we needed to prep for. And he was just so patient. That kid is such a rock star. And I mean, look at him right now. He's just like doing his thing in his crib. Such a sweet kid, such a sweet boy, and I'm so grateful that this week we can snuggle with him and things are kind of back to normal. And it's, I'm just so glad that I am living the life that I am. I mean, it gets really stressful, don't get me wrong. Last week was a classic example of that, but at least it's not all the time. I mean, when we used to have our restaurant, and I look back now, I just have to say, the time that we put into that place was because it was my life. I loved being there. I loved what I did, but I can't imagine being able to do that with him. I'm so glad that things turned out the way that they did, even though I thought it was a hopeless situation and that, our business was taking a huge setback. In our personal life, though, our personal life was taking a huge step forward. And so I'm so grateful I get to hug and snuggle and spend really good quality time with him today and the rest of this week. And just trying to find that balance again is what I'm really looking forward to this week. So if you want to see what this week is going to look like, I mean, I personally find it boring, but people love, I'm getting such surprising reactions to just our everyday life. So thank you for being around, following me on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I will put my Instagram handle down below. I just post my life on there as much as I can remember. I did not post very much last week because it was just so crazy. So I'm trying to be better about that. That way you guys can really see what entrepreneur life is like, right? It's such a roller coaster where some weeks you are so busy, it's so abundant, there's so much money coming in, and then other weeks it's more slow and steady and you can breathe a little bit and focus on family or personal things. And so that's just the excitement of entrepreneur life, and I try to share that as much as possible on my Instagram. So like I said, I'll put it down below for you guys. That way we can connect. And if you have any questions, that's the best place to DM me, so that if you need any templates, my Notion templates, or if you have any questions about entrepreneurship, running a food business, or want to set up a time to set up a call, that's the best way to reach me. And it's the best way we can communicate. So it'll be there. I hope you guys have a wonderful, productive, great week, and I will see you guys next week. Till then, take care and have a good one. Bye, guys.